All right, this video is going to cover the next three questions, T1.4 through T1.6. They all have to do with this histogram. Okay, so in a recent week, data on the age of all homes sold in a particular area were collected and displayed in this histogram. Okay, so we've got frequency, which is just telling us how many. We've got the age of home, where the minimum is somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 years and the maximum is somewhere in the neighborhood of 75 years. This has a skewed right shape. There's some gaps here. Just a couple things I noticed right off the bat. Okay, T1.4. Which of the following could be the median age? All right, so the median is going to be the middle value. I wish it told us how many values there were, but it doesn't, so we're going to have to figure it out on ourselves. Okay, so I know there's 7 in that stack, 8 there, 9 there, 7, 6, 3, 4, 2, 1, 1, 3, and 1. Okay, I'm going to quickly add these numbers up off screen. 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 7 plus 6 plus 3 plus 4, 2, 1, 1, 3, 1. Okay, I got 52. Okay, so just make a note, n equals 52 is our sample size. Okay, so the median is going to be somewhere around the 26th or the 27th value. Okay, all right, so let's see. 7 plus 8 plus 9, that's already 24. Okay, so then this would be the 25th value, this would be the 26th value, and this would be the 27th value. Okay, so one of these is the median, right? Just maybe, actually the average of those two values. The histogram doesn't tell us what the actual value is. All we know is that it's somewhere between 20 and 25. Okay, so a reasonable value for the median, let's actually write that in, right? It's one of these values in the fourth bar, and the fourth bar is located between 20 and 25. So a reasonable answer could be B, right? A is not between 20 and 25. None of these other values are between 20 and 25. Okay. All right, T1.5, which of the following is most likely true? Okay, so we want to compare the mean to the median and compare the range to the IQR. Okay, let's start here. Okay, the range is the maximum minus the minimum, and the IQR is the third quartile minus the first quartile. Okay, the range is always going to be a wider measurement than the IQR, because the range is looking at the overall kind of width of the distribution, and the IQR is only looking at the spread of the middle 50%. Okay, so just on that alone, we could eliminate A, because the range will not be less than the IQR. It could only be greater than the IQR. Okay, all right, now for the mean versus the median. All right, one of the things I noticed right away is that the distribution is skewed to the right. Okay, which means that these extremely high values to the right side are going to inflate the mean, but do very little in changing the median. Okay, so because it's skewed right, I can safely conclude that the mean will be larger than the median. Okay, so I'm going to go with choice C for that one. Okay. Now, if it was the other way, if it was skewed to the left, right, now we have a few extremely low values, and those are going to pull the mean or the average down. So in that case, the mean would be smaller than the median. All right, T1.6. The standard deviation of the distribution of house age is about 16 years. Interpret this value. Okay. So we have a sentence stem or sentence frame for standard deviation, and it goes a little something like this. Okay. The context typically varies by SD units from the mean of whatever the mean is. Okay, so the context here is age of home, right? So we'd say the ages of homes typically vary by, okay, standard deviation is 16 years from the mean of, we don't know. The median's 24. The mean's probably going to be a little bit higher than that. So I'll just say the mean of blank. We don't know. Okay, so let's see which of these answer choices sounds the most like this or uses the same kind of language as this sentence I've written. Okay. A, the age of all houses in this sample is within 16 years of the mean. So this is saying all houses, but we're saying like a typical home. I'm not saying that every house is 16 years away from the mean. Sorry, we're not saying every home is 16 years from the mean, just that the typical homes are 16 years from the mean. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate A. B, the gap between the youngest and oldest house is 16 years. No, that sounds more like a description of the range, right, when you're looking at the gap between the highest and the lowest value. All right, C, the age of all houses in the sample is 16 years from the mean. Okay, for the same reason as part A, I don't like the way C sounds. Okay, D, the gap between the first quartile and the third quartile is 16 years. Okay, nope, that's a description of the IQR or interquartile range. Okay, process of elimination, let's read choice E. The age of the houses in the sample typically varies by about 16 years from the mean age. Hey, that's almost a perfect match for what we've written here, right? We have the context, age of the houses. We have this kind of unique phrase, typically varies by. We've got 16 years, which is the value of the standard deviation, and then it mentions the mean. All right, so choice E it is.